for me. It's very good for me. This week we met in Crolles 25 different nationalities, but never so many Americans at the same time. For 4 days we want to keep you very busy, so you will go home with many good memories. And very tired, I hope so. For us. We have invented many new technicals, found the best people for the factory and for the distributor, but even so we may not be able to supply you with perfect weather. And thank you very much for your time and work with Petzl. Thanks.
The different trade shows. He's the technical director, even though he doesn't like that title, here at Petzl. And he's the one who comes to the trade shows and answers all the questions that the reps beat on him about and I beat on him about. And he's the one that listens to all of us sniveling all the time about why don't you do this and why isn't that happening. And he's the complaint department at Petzl mostly for the foreigners. So, Mr. Peter Petzl.
Mr. Peter probably called me. I'm Peter normally. I think just to add something, we know to develop techniques and products. This is our job, to deliver this to you. But we don't know how, Paul just told before, to influence and develop a weather machine. And that's why we are depending on if it's warm, if it's cold. And it's the same. We never know if it's tomorrow really hot or tomorrow really cold. That's why we change the temperature here in the auditorium, that you feel once it's warm and once it's cold. For adaptation on what's going on the next day. Something else I think we have also to introduce Christophe. He's the responsible for all our communication outside of the factory, making advertising, especially for France, some international advertising. I saw that one of our American advertising specialists is also over there. We introduce him later, I think, probably. Often, if they don't like the advertising, you can kill him here straight. And Christophe, he's in the same time turning around like a small dog. You saw him just before behind Steve. It was really nice to see him with the camera like this. And he likes to make us a video to fix all these moments, crazy moments, good moments, depending on what we will have, and that you have something later on for you at home to feel back in France and to show it to the others how nice or how crazy it is in France. That's for international communication, why we do this. I think it's all is discussed, time goes on, and normally at 2 o'clock it was for me to start. It's 1 minute to 2 o'clock, we have to wait 1 minute, I think. It was so quick, Steve, I thought we had to tell much more about it. I think the goal for you is to see what's going on here in France. If these manufacturers are serious manufacturers or they only make toys for nothing. And that's why the goal is that you see how we are manufacturing, what we are manufacturing, and what is our motivation behind why we are manufacturing. First, I think it's the beginning of Petzl, and this is what Paul Petzl will show you in the late afternoon, when you're a little bit more awake. For now, we cannot make it dark here with lights, we'll sleep on. A little bit about the history, what was and what is Petzl now. But I think what I like to transmit to you here is the origin of Petzl, and also for my motivation why I'm here in this company, is the fascination and the passion for a doing which is for all around here, vertical life, which is caving, which is climbing, and which is also industrial work on electrical towers or window washes. All what's connected with ropes, where is the kind of adrenaline of a perhaps fall, is a kind of motivation over here. And that's why we are motivated to make products, to work on those, and take time, and are sometimes a little bit tired after jet lag and trade fairs and having you all over here. But for the moment, we are not so tired. I wanted to start just to explain a little bit how we are working to develop and to manufacture specialty products. For after this we will have a short trip, a quick trip to the manufacturing. First, we are worrying about losing our own ideas. That's why you have to walk really quickly. This is like a tea, a cheap tea. You just put the tea herbs between in hot water and take them off. No, you will have time to see enough, but it is impossible for us to show you and to explain you all down there, especially for it's a big group. And if we make it in small groups, we take a whole day to explain you. That's why I had the idea to show you a little bit how is manufactured a product, and after this, on the trip down in the manufacturing, you will see, you will understand a little bit more before I tell you this is a punch press, this is a bender, and so on and on. You see the manufacturing goes on all the time, and I just picked up quickly before some parts around there. That's why I took just one, which is just aluminium sheets, which was normally big like this, and which was cut in small parts, and a basic design were brought out. This is not the Griegel, which I will show you after. This is the ascender. Everybody knows our ascenders, the blue and the yellow one. This is the beginning of an ascender. But let's go really on the product which is much discussed and which became our how I can call it, our toy and our favorite advertising, and I think big success, especially over in the United States, is the Grigri. You know what is called a Grigri normally?
How do you like it in New York?
Otherwise, it's a great city. That's the thing I say about it.
Have their own indoor wall over there.
We're going down?
Looks like we get to go down. I don't think you have to It's an airbag, really.
We got the best lawyers in the world.
We will, damn it.
We are most of the lawyers.
Most of the lawyers in the world.
Are there any lawyers in
I
there?
was involved in the lawsuit of REI, like an expert, and I went to the lawyers around the Salt Lake, in Seattle, and we just crossed that a big tower, and he told me, the lawyer, and this tower, this building, are more lawyers than in whole Japan.
Oh, what?
In all of Japan. Probably true.
Here is our test tower, like we call it. It is not a so big area, for normally don't have so many people in here. But most of the time there are too many here. Percentage of killed people reason of breaking products which are going around is really high. That's why after it will be much more space here. Wasn't really clearly explained, that's why I'm trying to understand it. This is one point the heart of our factory here. Why? This is not the individually testing area. For you saw in the factory there are all these machines for this individual testing. This area is only to develop, to simulate, and to verify different kind of situations in the vertical world. I know I don't like to talk only about climbing. For to climb the cable, the window washer and all those, they are depending on Newton. Newton defined that in our Earth all will fall to the ground. It is not really verified by the scientists, for the actual can just go up, but nobody gave a guarantee, but for the moment they still show it. That's why all questions which are coming from outside, all ideas, we try to do them here. Can you close the door, please, for the music?
We'll turn it up.
I like this music. I don't like myself, but you have to listen. All kinds, once more, all kind of ideas, all kind of problems. We try to simulate them here. Broken carabiner, catching rope in a corner like this. That's why we try to identify all these kind of devices around here, and that sometimes the constructions that we have around our products are really crazy, and you can't think this is a real situation in climbing, or in caving, or in working. But we try with scotch tape and so on to simulate all kinds of situations. First one thing I forgot to present Mark. We are doing here. Coming back to the tower, we have fall testing, which we call dynamic fall situation, which is this yellow mark up there. There's written 80 kg on it, but we can transfer it also to 100 kg for industrial testing. And we have this real fall situation up there. You see one with the camera, he will soon come down and go with one over there. We have the dummy up there, which is a 100 kg dummy, which takes a real fall. And also you will see us, after when we are jumping really and doing some testing and falling. It's the third system, and we have the fourth over here, which is the helmet testing, to verify helmets in the development situation, not when the final product. Final product is out of the only sometimes we verify for sure, but this is for development and verifying certifications and so on. All details will explain a little bit about, not to show in general. All these four machineries, if I can call them like this, are joined together by loading the measurements, the drawings, and so on. You will see later on the working. What I don't think we have to lose too much time in talking about what's going on. We like to see something. But if you have to have some questions, technical questions, we can go in details if you like. But first, I think to satisfy everybody, we show different situations. And after, if we have time for some details, there's nothing to do also later separately. And this evening or in the restaurant with a good glass of wine, it's much easier to understand now. A fall test. In this case, this is the testing for industrial harnesses, which is conforming to the industrial standard, national French standard, and the existing and future European standards. These are fall testing with a mass of 100 kg and with an exactly defined dummy which is up there. Tu attends encore, Marc, hein? C'est carré, tout le monde attend. What is going on there? You see, we have a color growth, which is normally a sign of a dynamic growth. It's not a static growth, which is 2 meters long. So we are talking in kilometers and meters and centimeters, not in inches and half inches and pounds and stones.
It's only 14 pounds.
In the United Kingdom, they continue on stones. And this will fall, and you see there are 2 meter ropes, consequent, there are 4 meters of fall, which we call in the climbing situation a fall factor 2. The fall factor is defined by the height of the fall, or the length of the fall, divided by the length of the available rope in the moment of fall. In this case, there are no device between, there are just two knots, sorry. Pronunciation. X air on each end. Now, this is the testing, like I told you, for the industrial harnesses. Normally, it is 2 head up and 2 head down test consequently. For the new European standard, it is 1 head up and 1 head down. We don't go in those details here. I think the goal is, once you are here, that you see it and that you feel it with your eyes. I don't hope that you will feel it with your body. But I think this is important once to have a little knowledge about this, how after this you understand how important this, how strong it has to be, the material, how serious we have to take it to manufacture the stuff, to distribute the stuff, to sell the stuff, and to use the stuff. So I think you are in the same line. We are at the beginning, you are in the middle, and one of you is the point. I asked you to go all in the back, for we never...
Hide behind something.
The press to the front, please.
Yes. Press.
Everybody was.
Unless you're an attorney. Unless you're...
You will see, you will see this is rigid dummy, which is not compared, you cannot compare it with the human body. And it is a seat harness testing. It is sure being the rigid dummy after the fall will be head down. Normal situations like an unconscious person, not completely unconscious person either, but the second of being rigid. But after this, about this we will have time to talk tomorrow concerning, we will see a video with our testing.
Come out from behind there, Rudy, you chicken.
Okay.
Get on the pad, Rudy.
C'est bon. Il y a regardé.
C'est bon?
C'est bon. Ready?
Yeah.
Ah oui?
Tourne un petit peu, voilà.
1, 2, 3.
100 kg.
Oh!
Happy guy, huh?
Very happy.
Was a Petzl Company. I don't know if the team I hope, but I think that no? Not the right color.
I've never seen this one yet.
No, the European quality.
Almost as good as the American.
Not really, but I always thought, tell Stephen, otherwise, the nicest and the prettiest guy in the world after me. Behind me, that's what I mean. You see it, the harness, little shape. And normally after this kind of fall, I think everybody will worry for his equipment, will thank God for the manufacturer, I hope so, of the equipment. And normally, on the definition of using equipment, you throw it away after. But this kind of fall, in reality, is impossible. So you have a rigid mass, you can compare it to a human body which is falling, which is absorbing much energy by deformation and absorbing gravity. This was another one.
How much does the rope stretch?
Depends on the elongation factor of the rope. See what you're saying? Yeah. Certain ropes, depending on
But what we call
Yeah.
a dynamic testing, which is the fall test, with the mass. But on all standards and all over the world, the main testing is static testing. The static testing which will be done here. You have a dummy, You put the harness on, and you just pull it under special conditions. For example, the UEAA standard. Everybody knows what is UEAA? Huh? You I and me, no. UIA is the International Alpine Association standard, and which is normally 16 kilonewtons. 16 kilonewtons for 5 minutes, for 3 minutes. All our harnesses, which we manufacture, we test them up to 20 kilonewtons. To be sure to be better. There is, perhaps just here's more remark about, for we always talk about the individual testing on our metal product, on our hardware. We cannot make an individual testing on our software. Why? You will see. There's so much deformation on the software that which is not any danger. But people wouldn't buy it. They're sure. It is deformed a little bit, it's stretched, it is normal. All this tape, or this tubular especially, which is inside a softer material and outside a stronger material, is automatically different elasticity. And that's why some fibers will break, not really break, but will extend more than the others. And after this is sure once you bring a harness up to 10 kilonewton, for example. 10 kilonewton is 220 pounds like that. 2,200 pounds, huh? Yeah. Only for those. What do you prefer? I normally talk in kilonewtons.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they will have so much deformation that people do not buy it. That's why we don't test them individually. But that's why we give a big margin in the manufacturing. That's why we go from 16 up to 20. And all of the standards respected when deciding for 16, which the tube is going to do is only 15, and having a margin in. For normally on a harness, you never will have more than around more than 12 kilonewtons, and in the general case, it's always less than 9 kilonewtons. The strength which you ask holding a harness. And this also only in a really short interval of time, which is 200 of seconds, which you have really the peak load on it. In this case, if you have, we have the peak load for 3 minutes. They go up in 3 minutes, up first to the peak load, go straight down and go back to the peak load, which is normally the 16 kilonewtons on the standard. And after this, once this is done, we go up and try to break them and come up to normally, I hope, to 20 kilonewtons. The official standard, to have the official UA label, the DIN label, all the other labels all over the world existing, all over harnesses, for the client's belt. Only 20% approximately on the belt. But at the same time, the belt has to be strong enough. That's why we make our testing only on the belt alone, paying much attention. The leg loop alone, and so on, to verify all the things. We develop new harnesses, and once we have them, each finalized product, defined product is tested here like this. And also each time if we have a new design or a new stitching only on it, we also test it once more.
Peter, in an actual ball factor 2 fall like that, how much of the load is...
You can have it exactly. How much was it? It was 9 kilonewtons probably. Ici 11 kilonewtons. Yeah, sure. But we had 100 kg. 100 kg. This was You see, this is the drawing of the computer now, from the load cell. You have the first shock, after that you saw the rebound like this, and came back like that. And this goes up to 10.5 kilonewtons centigrade per amp. 10.5 kilonewton, which is 2,100 pounds, approximately. This is the fall with 100 kg mass, which I told you is a 9 kilonewton, and a little bit less is an 8 kg mass.
But how much of what percentage, I know it depends on the aspect of the faller, but what percentage of the load is taken in the Swami and what percentage of the load is taken?
In a normal head-up fall, it is 80% on the leg loop and 20% on belt. For sure now, if you go on a head-down fall, it's different. But normally you twist over. But the belt itself holds it, makes fall. Point. There's often the question concerning harnesses, how you have to rope in. Normally it's a drawing of the harness. You can rope in this ring here, but normally we require to rope in here. This is not a question of comfort, of safety, of safety. It is more a question of comfort. Why? For first, if you are roped in here, the ring in front is free for other things, for belaying or self-belaying or what you like to do or other things. First point. And second is, if I have, and this you can see it here, in my case, and this is a harness which I look, you see I have colors which you never saw. It's an old color. It's always how you can call it the shoemaker has always the best shoe. But this is, as you can just see in the tower. In my case, for example, I would rope in like this in here and make a narrow nut. Knot. I will never make a narrow one. The girls most of the time, they have a higher basin here, and they're much narrower over here. They need more space here, and then they need a longer knot. Like this you can adjust in roping in the harness. This is interesting at the same time. That's why these style of harnesses, it is better to rope in like this. But once more, there's not any danger to fix in here. For those, there's that small sample to explain to you. These harness, at the beginning you put 4 bar tag. We have 4 bar tags in here. You see many of the competitors' harnesses, they have 5, 7, 6, 10 and so on. It's nice. But only to explain you my testing in there. Once I went to a circus and discussed a little bit with those artists who are working the trapeze, jumping from one edge to another. And they normally are played. They have a belt, it's a small thin cable behind. And you know how they fix the belt is fixed. They don't have a buckle on the belt. They only have a Velcro on the belt. Half over the Velcro. That's all that it holds. Listening to this, I just made a testing. I took the tape like that, like it is here, double, and in one part are 3
Triggers. Oh, circuit.
3 layers. Sorry, yeah, 3 layers. And what I put on, I put Scotch tape around them, just like that. And I put it on the pencil test machine here. It is sure I didn't put it on the Scotch tape like this, or it would open like this. But I put it in the right position. And I came up to how much, what do you think? Bigger. No.
500 kg.
Not so much. No, only with one Scotch tape around. I came up to 400 kg, which is 900 pounds. Without nothing. After that, I make just the stitching around like this, which is always around here too. For that the people don't take just one. With this stitching, I was unable to break it. Sometimes I break, but it was just on the limit, sure. For our machine here is limited on 3,100 now. For we don't need more strength in testing, and we also